Hello, welcome to a memory plan with me. This week I am memory planning August 18th to the 24th. This was literally just a week ago, so it's pretty fresh in my head. And for this week, I'm using the kit from the Prairie Planner called New York City. So we didn't actually go to New York City, we actually went to Toronto this week, and Toronto is kind of, in my mind, like the New York City of Canada, which I know sounds kind of silly, but if you're from Canada, you kind of know what I'm talking about. I have been to New York City once, but that was probably, well, I guess it was maybe 2 years ago now. And it's not really something that I feel like I'm going to be doing for a while, so I thought that this kit would be perfect to use for going to Toronto. And I just want to mention that the bottom washi is from Simply Gilded, and then the second bottom washi is just from the kit that I cut in half. So yeah, going to Toronto this weekend was something that we had planned for a while. Actually, more like I had planned for a while. There was something there called the Canada Expo, which is kind of, I guess in the same sense, it's the same thing as a Comic Con. I don't think we call them Comic Cons in Canada. I think we call them fan expos. So, anyways, Toronto was having one called the Canada Expo, and it's the biggest one in, excuse me, in Canada. And I have this deal that I make with myself that the only way that I will go to these is if there's at least three people that I want to meet. And I'm talking like celebrities or, oh my gosh, celebrities or voice actors. There has to be at least three in order for me to commit to buying the tickets, because in my head, in case someone cancels, and at least I have two more and then I have another backup plan. It's a whole thing that I plan out. So yeah, and in this case, there was actually three people that we wanted to see. None of them canceled. We got to meet every single one of them, which is pretty cool. Also, on one of the days, we actually had time to go check out Niagara Falls. I have never been there in my life, so I was super excited to do that as well. So we ended up doing that on Friday, and the expo happened to be on Saturday. So it was good planning on my part, except there was a few hiccups, but it all worked out pretty well. And yeah, I don't know. It was just a lot of fun. It was my husband's first time in Toronto. This is my second time in Toronto, but yeah, I never seen the falls, so I was really excited for that. I think that we're going to make another plan to go in a couple years and take his parents there because um, I don't know if I've mentioned, but they're from France, so they want to come see the falls as well as Lake Louise in Banff. So we definitely have plans to go back. Getting into the day by day, on Monday, I am marking that I was up early, and I'm using the alarm clock that came with the kit as well as the up early script from the Prairie Planner. And then using the TV icon that came with the kit, I'm marking that I had a binge, crime binge. I started watching Mr. Ballin, I think is how you say it. I started watching him again on YouTube, and he always uploads these really crazy stories that just make me like, they terrify me, but at the same time they interest me so much. And I was gonna say that the same way that Crime Binge script is also from the Prairie Planner. And then this morning I went to go have solo breakfast. My husband is not a morning person, so every once in a while I sneak off to have breakfast by myself. And this day I did go have breakfast at a place called, oh yeah, it's called Fat Burger. They have breakfast there, which is kind of cool. Anyways, after that I grabbed a Tim Hortons coffee, so I'm using the coffee cup from the kit and the Tim Hortons script from the Prairie Planner. Moving on to the second half of Monday, I'm marking that me and my husband had cuddles. So I'm using these paper Shire bunnies to mark that, as well as a cuddle script from the Prairie Planner. And then I did some reading, so I'm using the book that came with the kit and a read sticker from the Prairie Planner. And after that, I'm marking that I went to get my nails done. These are the nails I'm pretty sure that you can see in the video where they have like, they're actually Star Wars themed. They have lightsabers and there's a stormtrooper on the other side. I really love these nails so much. The person that I go see, he does really well with nail art. He likes to do different. He even did my Halloween nails one year. It was like Friday the 13th themed, and it was like Freddy Krueger and Jason on one side. It was, I don't know, it's pretty neat how he can do that, because like when I think about it and try to do it, I'm just like, I can't my hands just can't handle trying to do intricate work like that. But anyways, the reason why I had Star Wars themed nails is because one of the celebrities that I was going to be meeting at the fan expo was Ewan McGregor, who plays Obi-Wan Kenobi in the newer Star Wars. So I just wanted to have nails that were matching a little bit to the theme of the weekend. Anyways, moving on to Tuesday, I'm marking that I had Tim Hortons. So I'm using this coffee cup from one of the Michael sticker books that I gotten a while ago, and the Tim Hortons script is from the Prairie Planner. And then marking that it has some planner time, I'm using the planner that came with a kit, and the planner time script is from Krell's Creations. And then I did some editing, so I'm using the phone sticker that came with a kit. And whatever I was editing that day, I did upload, so I'm using the YouTube sticker from Papershire to mark that. And then that day we did some laundry, so I'm using the laundry basket that came with a kit. And then that evening I played some Apex, so I'm using this headset sticker from JP Stickers. And then marking that I went to bed early, I'm using the bed that came with a kit. Okay, moving on to Wednesday, the first thing I'm marking is I was up early again, so I'm using this clock sticker from Once More with Love, and the up early script is from the Prairie Planner. And then I did some more planning, so I'm using the sticker stack that came with the kit and the Planner Time sticker from Krell's Creations. And this day I finally watched the live action of Lilo and Stitch, so I'm using the movie marquee that came with the kit and the popcorn that also came with the kit to mark that. And then I took a bath, but I'm using a Munchkin sticker that's taking a shower, and yet I'm still marking it as bath time with Krell's Creations script. I know it doesn't make sense because the bath and shower, they're different, but I don't have any more bath stickers for some reason. And then I had a TikTok binge. So I'm using this Mr. and Mrs. Mint sticker to mark my TikTok binge. And then I did the packing for our trip. So I'm using this leftover suitcase from one of the decos from a kit that I had from a while back. I don't even remember it, but anyways, and then using this Papershire bunny marking that I took a nap. It sounds silly, but like I didn't actually go to bed for the night. It was more of a nap because I had to be up at midnight to get ready because our flight was at 5:40 and the airport is an hour and a half drive away from us, and you know how you have to get to the airport 2 hours before, so we needed to be out the door by 2:15 a.m. So it definitely felt weird driving that road where there was basically no traffic and it was the middle of the night, but it was fine. We made it to the airport. It was freezing when we got out too. Like it was just so cold. And well, I mean, it was the middle of the night, so it makes sense. But anyways, moving on to Thursday, which was only like 3 or 4 hours after I went and took my nap. But anyway, marking that we were up early, I'm using another clock sticker from Once More with Love and another up early script from the Prairie Planner. And then using the car that came with the kit, I'm marking that we drove to the city where the airport is. And then using this plane from Vera Cute Designs, marking that we took our flight. And then when we landed in Toronto, we actually lost 2 hours because Toronto was 2 hours ahead of us. So we were super jet lagged, even though, I mean, I say we were jet lagged, even though we probably weren't, because I think jet lag is more like when you're traveling across the country. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But we were super tired. So I'm using this emoji sticker to mark that we took a nap when we got to our Airbnb. And we actually kind of lucked out because I contacted them and asked if we could do an early check-in because we wanted to nap. Like we landed at, what time did we land? I think it was like 11, I think, or yeah, I think it was 11 that we landed. So, and our check-in wasn't until 3. So I was like, okay, we're going to have to hang out at the airport. This was one of those hiccup things that I was talking about. But I contacted them and just checked if we could do early check-in, and he was fine with it. So we went straight to the Airbnb, took a nap. It was wonderful. And then when we woke up, we went to go eat at a burger place called Gladiator. And after that, we just walked around and did some exploring. So that was pretty much our Thursday. And then moving on to Friday, this is the day that we went to Niagara Falls. So of course we were up early and we were taking a bus tour this day. So we needed to go meet them downtown. So we took another Uber downtown. But this was kind of cool because I've never done a wine tasting, and one of the things that they did was take us to this wine tasting place, and it was so amazing. I didn't like any of the wines, but it was still a lot of fun. So anyways, using the wine stickers from Fox and Cactus, I'm just trying to like see where I am here in the plans. And this falls sticker, I have no idea where it's from, but it was perfect to mark that we went to Niagara Falls this day. And then to mark that we actually did the boat ride too. So I'm using this paper bits sticker to mark that. I have nothing that signifies a boat ride, so I just used this because I was just chilling. I was actually not chilling at all. It was so much fun. I was just so excited. I was like kind of overstimulated from everything, but it was a lot of fun. And then our bus tour actually took us to Niagara Lake and explored this tiny little town. It was like super quaint and we got to explore it. We had ice cream there. And then moving on to Saturday. This is the day of the fan expo. So we were up early again. So I'm just marking that the same way. We figured out how to use the buses too this day. So we saved a little bit money from Ubers. And then to mark that, I'm using the Captain America sticker to mark the actual Canada Expo. And then to mark that I had my photo op with Obi-Wan Kenobi, I'm using this paper Shire sticker to mark that, carrying a lightsaber to mark that. And then using this once more with love stickers. It's so cute saying fight me. It's actually fun. I'm using this to mark that we got to meet Mike Tyson. And of course, we wouldn't try and fight him, but we got our picture taken with him. It was a lot of fun. And then we met a voice actor from the zombie game that we play. And it was cool because he gave us kind of um, intel about the game, the upcoming game, Black Ops 7, that's coming out. So that was pretty neat too. And then we did some shopping at the expo. So I'm using the shopping bag that came with the kit. And then finally, moving on to Sunday, the first thing I'm marking is that we packed. So I'm using this, no idea where this traveling bag's from. I think it's a leftover from a kit as well. And then we went to go check out the Toronto sign, which is actually a tourist attraction of the city. So I'm using the camera sticker to mark that we took pictures there. And then we went to the Hockey Hall of Fame. So I'm using this hockey stick from the Prairie Planner to mark that. And then we found this beach on the Toronto Island where you take this water taxi across to this island. And I had no idea this beach was there. I was so mad because we would have spent all day there if I had known. But it's fine. And the reason why we had so much time this day is because our flight out was actually like 10:40 at night. So I was so glad that we found stuff to do to use up the day. But I'm using another plain sticker from Vera Cute Designs to mark that we took our flight home. And then that house sticker came with the kit just to mark that we finally made it home at like 2 a.m. So it was funny because we left at 2 a.m. and then we made it home at exactly like the same time. It was so weird. Anyways, thanks for stopping by.